Yay Media Group.
There was one throw-up incident, which I don't know why.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Every time we're like in a hotel, he throws up. What is going on?
Hey guys, episode 228. We are back we're still on spring break, but we're back from our trip.
Yeah, happy March Madness, everybody. It's actually kicking off today. We're filming this Thursday, so the beginning of March Madness just kicked off.
Ooh.
And it's getting mad already. Duke is losing right now. So by the time we finish this podcast, to Siena. So we'll see what happens. I think they'll come back, but it'd be amazing. I have Duke winning.
I always put Duke to win. I don't actually do the brackets. I just make up the brackets in my head. And whenever you do them, seriously, like the real brackets, I'm always like, Duke is always my pick to win. So if they're the first ones out, I don't even know what Siena is.
Well, first of all, I'm jumping to conclusions because we're doing this as the game's going on right now. But it's 61-56 right now, with 7 minutes left. But if Duke goes down, everybody, I think
everyone's
everybody,
brackets is messed up.
It's brackets busted.
But that's what's so great about doing the brackets is because you just never know. And normally it's the people who don't watch basketball that do good.
Yeah, so that'd be crazy because I'm not a Duke fan. That's how we became a UCLA fan in the first place before I even moved to California. All my friends in Chicago were Duke fans, or a lot of them were. And the only team that could beat Duke at that time was UCLA. So I picked UCLA just to go against my friends. And plus I like their colors better. I do like the Duke blue. But now we just went to Duke and that guy was so nice to me.
So now you're a Duke fan.
And we told that whole story, right? Yeah. So the guy was so nice to me that I'm like, oh, and Justin loves Duke so much. So I was just there. So I'm like, they're really the favorite to win the whole thing. Right. I mean, they should win. So if they got knocked out in the first round, we'll know by the end of this podcast. That'll be crazy.
Yeah, that'll be nuts. I'll kind of be sad. I was talking to my mom today and she was on a walk. I go, oh, Duke's playing because a friend of mine texted me and said, we're going to a bar to watch Duke. Do you want to come? And I was like, we're recording the podcast. And my mom was like, wait, Duke's playing? I got to get home. And so she turned around on her walk to get home so she could watch it.
The bars are packed.
Oh,
right
I
now.
bet.
Packed. Because we used to go, again, back in Chicago when I was in my 20s, my brother, all of his friends, my friends.
I went one year.
We'd take it was called Barry Spring Break. My buddy.
Well, I don't think it was Barry Spring Break, but I met you guys. We were dating. We didn't even have kids, I don't think.
We coined it Barry Spring Break because Barry was the first. He'd take off work Thursday and Friday every single year. And that's all you look forward to was March Madness. So you get to the bar like 9 o'clock, have breakfast. First game started like 10, started having beers, and they're packed. You know, so then all started, over the years, we'd all start doing that, like take off work Thursday and Friday and go watch the first 2 games. And it was fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm getting older. I can't do that. Plus, we just got off of our spring break.
We did. We had the best time. We had such a good trip. And it was with our kids. A lot of times when you go on spring break with your kids, I think you leave feeling exhausted and you need a vacation from a vacation. I was a little tired when we got home just from the long days. We did have very long days. Yeah. But just seeing our kids, how happy they were and how much fun they had, it just makes it all worth it. All like the tiredness and the stress. We left on Friday. Didn't we leave on a Friday?
Friday night.
We left Friday night, which I love that we left late because when we got to LA, it was 10 o'clock. And then the pool at our hotel was open till 12. So then the kids were so just jacked just because they were so excited. The next day we were going to Universal. So we let them swim and they played. We kind of relaxed for a little bit. And then we went upstairs. Everybody went to bed because they were tired from being at school all day as well. And then the next day we woke up, everybody was refreshed, ready to go. And I mean, we were at Universal from open to close.
But we didn't do Universal till Sunday. So we had all of Saturday. So
that is right. I'm sorry.
By the way, if you are ever going to Universal Studios in Los Angeles, I think there's one in Florida too, fly into Burbank Airport.
Yes.
That's like key. And if you're ever going to LA and you can do something, which is called the Valley or Studio City, fly into Burbank. It's so easy. It's such a smaller airport. LAX is crazy.
A
I heard
nightmare.
they did it a little better now, but just a tip out there. If you can fly into Burbank or you all are going to those theme parks, definitely fly into Burbank.
Yes, Burbank is the way to go.
And we stayed at the hotel.
The Hilton
That
at
put us up.
Universal. Yes. We stayed at Hilton Universal. That is where we stayed for Big Brother.
Right.
And if you're ever going to Universal Studios or you are in the Valley, I would suggest staying at the Hilton. The Sheraton is right beside it. I prefer the Hilton. I think it's like bigger. It's a 6-minute walk to Universal Studios. There is a shuttle every 20 minutes, but it's faster to just walk. We learned that.
Yeah, we learned it. So we're giving you some tips in case you do go out there. I love Universal Studios. It brought back so many memories because my whole family came out there to see me, my nieces, and my mom and dad. We all went there together, so we have pictures of that. And then I used to do this show called Home and Family there. I wasn't on the show, but like Cameron Matheson and Debbie Matenopoulos, they were hosting at the time. And I'd go on and do like little cooking segments, but that's on the Universal Studio lot. So when you take like that tour, which I love, it's one of my favorites, the Hollywood tour. It's just, that's where they filmed everything. They picked up scenes from like Jaws and Psycho and so many other movies, Back to the Future.
Bates Motel.
Yeah, that's Psycho.
And it's cool to see, you get to go in and see how they make I'll give an example because this was one of them. It was a subway and there's a flood and there's a disaster happening in the subway. And it's cool to see actually how it looks so real.
Yeah, so I remember one time, so you take the tour, right? And sometimes you see like a working set when you're driving around, there'll be filming something because there's a back lot where it looks like New York or Chicago and things like that. And you get to see all of it, which I love the movie making industry. I love that. That's how I fell in love with this business. So I really like that part, and they keep it entertaining. They talk through it and they point out everything and then show a little clip of the movie where it's filmed. So I remember being with at Home and Family and our friend Chili. Remember Chili?
Oh yeah.
He was there one day when I was filming something, and we were like filming in the backyard, and then my segment was over with the cooking part and they were continuing with the show. And I'm like, Chili, you want to go get an ego boost? And he's like, yeah, what do you want to do? And I'm like, let's go out in front and wave to the Universal Studio. So we'd go out in front. They didn't know what we were doing. They just saw people like with cameras and like we'd wave and stuff. And Chili's like, hey, they don't even know I'm not on the show.
Yeah.
But it was just like the excitement. Yeah. Just like, I love that excitement.
Speaking of that, they didn't even, used to, they would stop like where they filmed it. They didn't even say that on this tour, even though it's not even a show anymore. That was a great show. I loved it. And I was on there maybe a handful of times, but before I did anything like Daily Blast Live and things like that, I'm like, man, this is a show I really would love to do. I just thought it was so great. Cameron was so great. Yeah. Everyone on that show was so nice, from the producers to the hosts. They were nice. So welcoming to me. What's her name? Kim, who does all Kim Douglas. Kim Douglas. She was great. If you don't know who Kim Douglas is, she did the Ellen show. She was always showing the beauty products on Ellen, and she would do crazy things like take a mask and rub her face in something. Yeah. And she was very energetic. And her and Ellen had like funny chemistry back and forth. And Mark Steines was the host before that. Okay, I just have to say, Mark is the nicest guy. That he used to host Entertainment Tonight back in the day. Right. And when I was a kid, I remember getting home from school and my mom would have Entertainment on Tonight. And who was his co-host? I forgot her name. Remember, you got them mixed up. Oh, Nancy O'Dell. Right, was the pretty one. I don't mean the pretty one, but she was hot. You thought she was, and then the older lady. Yes, what's her name? I can't remember, and that's who I'm thinking of. Like if I said the name, she's always at the Dodgers game, sitting behind with her husband. Oh my God, what's her name? I can't think right now, but he is the nicest guy, and he is so handsome in person. When we got off Big Brother, he was still hosting Entertainment Tonight, but I want to say he was by himself. And that was kind of my first experience seeing like real host. And I never knew, because Julie, a lady, of course, she's wearing makeup on air. I've never seen a male host in person. So one thing that threw me off was the makeup. I was like, Jeff, the men wear makeup too? And he goes, oh yeah, Jeff, when he was on Daily Blast Live, wore makeup. Al wore
I still
makeup.
do.
Yeah, you still do because it just looks better on camera.
With the lights that they have, especially like big productions, there's a lot of lights everywhere to light the set and things like that. It really, you'd be really shiny if you didn't have makeup.
But I remember seeing Mark and being like, wow, even with his makeup, he's even more beautiful, like a more handsome man. But he was just so kind.
What the heck is that lady's name?
Oh,
Look it up. So while you look that up, like Jordan said, the very first time we got off Big Brother, they brought us into Entertainment Tonight.
And threw you in.
And they threw me up, and this was before I did anything. They threw me up once Entertainment Tonight was done. And they're like, hey, Jeff, we want you to read the prompter. And they had it was a big production at the time. They had like a big boomstick and the camera was like coming in with the prompter on it. And I didn't even look at the lines before. And they wanted me like to sit in and read like if
Mary
I were
Hart.
a host. Mary Hart. That's
right.
Mary Hart. So I did that and I was like talking to Mark, and Mark, I was like, Mark, I don't even know what I'm doing up here. I never even met Mark before. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing up here.
And he was so kind.
He's like, buddy, just stay calm, read whatever's on the prompter, and he's like, and it's all good. And I was like, bumbling through.
You were frozen. I remember standing on the side watching you, and I was nervous for you because like the executive producer was in there.
Yeah, they were testing me without me knowing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And you had no idea.
But to this day, I have to prepare. Otherwise, I get nervous.
Yeah.
Like if I'm prepared, I'm ready to go. If I don't prepare,
you're nervous.
Like they just throw me up and they're like, I don't know what's coming on that prompter. That's not for me. That's a different skill.
Right.
I'm more like, just tell me the story and I'll ad-lib it back to the camera.
Times have changed.
Times have changed. I've gotten a lot better. But
I'm saying times have changed just like with the industry.
Everything's changed. Everything's changed. But that was crazy doing that. So my Mary Hart story, I think I've told it before, but it's still funny. They're giving us a tour of Entertainment Tonight, and Mark and Mary were the hosts at the time. And Nancy O'Dell I think she was a host, but maybe like a third host.
Yeah. She would be like doing the red carpets and whatever they call that.
Right. So Mary Hart's a legend, right?
Yeah.
So I kept going around, and everyone that was working, I'm like, hey, is Mary Hart coming in? And they're like, yeah, she should be here soon, And I was like, oh, I'm like, I don't know. I just wanted a picture of her. She's pretty, right? And I was with Jordan. It wasn't anything like I was trying to pick her up.
I think you were like, she's hot. You said something like that.
Yeah, I was ensuing that. Ensuing, is that the word? Yeah, I was ensuing it. I think that's the word. Anyways, so they're like, yeah, she'll be in a minute. Like, yeah, just hang tight. And then we're going somewhere else. And they're like, yeah, the hosts are coming in. I'm like, oh, is Mary Hart going to be here? Like, there's somebody else, because it just came up in the conversation. I wasn't being a stalker. And they're like, yeah, why? I'm like, I don't know. She's pretty, right? Like, I want to just get a picture with her. Because I think we took a picture with Mark, like back in the day.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Just go with the story here.
Okay.
And so I kept asking people, and they're like giving me this weird look. I'm like, what are you talking about? Mary Hart's hot, right? Like I was saying like that to you. And you're like, I think so. And then Mary Hart comes in, and she's the older woman. Still very pretty, but I was thinking Nancy O'Dell in my head. So all around Entertainment Tonight, they're like, oh, that guy Jeff really loves Mary Hart.
Yeah.
It was so funny. But that was like our first experience on that, not knowing like I would be doing that later.
Didn't they film Access Hollywood over there too? Or am I making that up? There was another show besides Entertainment Tonight.
Was it across the way there?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm
not
not
sure.
Something else. I can't remember.
Me
but
neither.
anyways, that was Universal is just very cool. If you have never been, get the express passes.
Another inside tip, spend the money.
Spend the money and get the express pass. Our friends that went with us did not. They did she found like a Groupon and did a 2-day.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to do a 1-day because when we went, the next day was our anniversary. We'll get to there though. And there were waits that were 70 to 90 minutes in line. And I was like, with our kids, there's no way. And I'm not patient enough to wait that long to ride one ride that's going to last 5 minutes. We skipped all the lines with the Express Pass. We got to ride every ride. It was great.
It was great. All right, let's take a break and then we'll finish up the rest of our trip.
Okay. Okay, welcome back.
Yes. So we kind of talked a little bit. We're going to get more into Universal because there's some funny stories.
We have, okay.
I was going to say Saturday, like what we did.
Okay.
So we get up. Our friends wanted to see Hollywood, like Hollywood proper. And I used to live right behind there on Fountain, it's called. It's right behind Hollywood Boulevard. So I've lived there. I've seen it all. But our friends wanted to see it. So I'm like, all right, let's go here. Then we'll go to Beverly Hills. And then we'll show them Beverly Hills. And then we'll go down to the beach. So we took which isn't a bad, if you're staying in Universal, it's not a far Uber ride to get to Hollywood. But the Oscars were going on Sunday. So everything was kind of shut down, Hollywood Boulevard. You could still walk around, but it's kind of cool to see everything set up and how they film and what a big production it is, you know? So we see there, we showed them the Hollywood sign and all that. And we're trying to get to Beverly Hills. So we there was 8 of us all together, 4 kids, 4 adults. So we call a big black Uber, right? And we all try to fit in there. And this woman's from another country. And she's like, no, you could only do 7. We're like, no, we'll be fine. So she's like, no, you have to get out. So we get out. And then I start talking to this guy and he's like, hey, you want to do a Hollywood tour? And I was like, no, man, I've lived here. You know, I've worked all over the place. And I go, I'll tell you what, though, if you give me a deal, we need a ride to Beverly Hills.
That's all. We don't care about the tour. We just want to get to Beverly Hills. So he's like, okay. He goes, it's going to take you up on Mulholland and you're going to see the Hollywood sign and things like this. You and I are like, perfect. That's what our friends wanted to see. So we get to ride in this van. It was very hot. We get some air and they get to see a tour. And
no, it wasn't hot in the van. There was no roof on the van. She meant like it was warm outside.
It was very warm. So then you can continue on because you did the dealing.
Yeah, he gave us a good deal. And then we started talking about football. That's how they get you. They got me. But then our tour guide was great too.
He was so good. Saw the signs, saw the celebrity houses, which I don't care about. Our kids, we're raising them right. Our kids could care less about celebrities and the houses. Leighton was more interested in the hawks flying around. And they were just like, when are we going to get there? Because they didn't know what Beverly Hills was. So we were we made it there. Our tour guide shows, what was the name of the place again? The market, the Hailey Bieber smoothies.
Oh, I have no idea. Oh, it's spelled nowhere backwards or something. Isn't that right?
Riley, what is the name of it again? Erewhon? Erewhon. Okay.
Erewhon. But is it spelled nowhere backwards?
I think that's what Matt told us.
Yeah.
So we go to this, we were like, we have to go to Beverly Hills and go to this place and get these smoothies because my friend's daughters wanted to see Beverly Hills. So we get there. That was the most insane grocery store. It was slam packed. Everybody looks like clones of each other. There's this one girl beside me. I was getting so annoyed. It took me like 20 minutes to get my smoothie. All she kept doing were TikTok videos of the smoothies. I was like, get out of my way. Boobs out. I've never seen so many boobs. Everybody's like a frozen face. I mean, I get Botox and I get stuff done too, but I guess when you haven't lived there in a while, you're like, whoa. But I was so used to seeing people like that all the time that maybe you don't really think about it as much. Definitely wanted to run out of there. It was not worth the wait. I just wanted to go there and see what it was like. Our kids didn't care about Beverly Hills at all. We kind of walked around, showed them the Pretty Woman Hotel, just the certain spots like over on Rodeo that are just like popular that you always see on the internet or TV. And then we got out of there pretty quick. Out of Beverly Hills. And then we head to Santa Monica. And that is where our kids and our friends loved because we had the beach. We went to the Santa Monica Pier. They played games. We didn't ride rides over there. We went to this place called Big Dean's. That was a bar we used to hang out. When Jeff and I first moved there, our first 4th of July, me, you, Louie, and Swain hung out there at Big Dean's. So there's a lot of history at Big Dean's. And the kids just had a blast. I don't know how many stuffies we got from games that our kids were playing. It was freezing down there.
There's this thing called June gloom, and it kind of, the water obviously is a little cooler and the air is warmer. So it makes like this smog, but it usually doesn't happen till late May or June. It's already happening down there. So if you go, say, Ocean Avenue's 0, that's what it is, and you go like to 10th Street, it's real sunny at 10th Street. You go up 10 blocks to hit the beach and it's all overcast and you can barely see in front of you. It's the craziest thing.
It is. It's so crazy. And so we spent most of the day there and got back to our hotel. That night, the kids went back. They love swimming in the hot tub. And that's kind of where we met up and then talked to a couple other families. We met another family that lives at the next town over from us. And then the next day was Universal.
Yes,
that
on
we
Sunday.
did on Sunday. So one story we have. So our kids I've never seen Harry Potter, and they wanted to ride the Harry Potter ride. And
it's awesome, by the way.
It's almost like you're on a broom. Flying around. But again, I don't know much about it, but you're in these harnesses. It's 4-person to a cart, and it's a harness, and you're kind of, like I said, going on a broom. You're up, down, sideways, all over the place. And all of a sudden, it was dark in there, and it sounds like a fire alarm. And I look at Jeff and I was like, is this part of the Harry Potter ride? Is that because I've never seen Harry Potter? Lawson's freaking out. We're upside down and it's stuck. But it felt like forever, but really it was only like a minute, 2 minutes, something like that.
It was 20 seconds.
No, it was not.
Yeah, it was like 25 seconds.
I was free. The harness kind of came down and I was like, oh my gosh, I am going to have a panic attack.
So we were like horizontal. Our heads were below our feet. That's how we got stuck, because you kind of fly all around in the ride. But then when we got stuck, they did say like over like a announcement came on and was like, please stay calm. We're going to fix this momentarily. And Lawson's like, oh my God, is this part of the ride? Yeah. And I was like, dude, stay calm. He goes, oh my God, this isn't supposed to happen. No, this isn't part of the ride. And this was our second ride of the day. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to scar him for the rest of the trip.
And Lawson's very scared of rides. He's got to kind of look, kind of check them out. The first Harry Potter ride he was unsure of. So I told him, and Leighton's the opposite. He wants to ride all of them. So I told Lawson that I would stay back with him, let Jeff and Leighton go ride the first Harry Potter ride. And I said, if Leighton comes back, let Leighton tell you how it is. And if he says it's okay. And I found a spot where there was an opening. I go, see, Lawson, you're not dropping down. It's just a circle. He's like, okay, I think I can do this. So that's how he is on most of the rides. He's got to look at it. He's got to observe. He needs to know that there's no big drop.
Yeah. So that was the second ride. It was really like 25 seconds. But when you're upside down, you're like, I even thought for a quick second, I'm like, how are they going to get us off this thing?
That's what you told me.
Yeah. But I was being like, Lawson, it's fine. They're going to get us off. And so it was like 25, 30 seconds. But when you're upside down in the dark, it's a little bit scary. So they did start it back up, and then you finished the ride. And then Lawson ended up really liking. He goes, minus the part where we got stuck. That was sick.
Yeah, it was a cool ride. And then again, we just did everything. The Mario World land. That was cool. When you walk through,
it's impressive.
And it opens up. I felt like I was in an actual video game.
And Harry Potter too.
Harry Potter,
you're in the whole world.
With the castles and the
very cool.
snow. That was very cool. I'm sure it's cool at like Halloween, because don't they do Halloween Horror Nights
Horror
there?
Nights, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's pretty cool. What a Transformers ride we did, the boys loved. Then what was the other? Oh, my favorite is the Jurassic World.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun. I was nervous about dropping down the hill because Jeff told me. He was like, just wait, it opens up and then you drop. So that was kind of scary.
But it's a water ride.
Yeah, it's a water ride, and that was nice. And yeah, it was just a great day. By the end of the day, I was exhausted. We went to the Universal Studios walk where all the restaurants are. We ate there with our friends. And
Dude, you're missing the best part.
What?
WaterWorld.
Oh, I forgot about WaterWorld. Yeah,
what's going on?
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
If you ran this podcast, it'd be 3 minutes long each time.
And I totally forgot about WaterWorld. See what I mean? I was exhausted. When we were standing in line for WaterWorld, my legs were like aching because I was just so tired and wanted to sit down.
Because you got to get WaterWorld only plays like, I don't know how many, 2 or 3 times a day. And if you remember the Kevin Costner movie, you know, you're stuck in the water and they're looking for land. So they kind of reenact that, but with all pyrotechnics and actors. And it's almost like SeaWorld, but no animals, right? It's people with motorboats and jet skis and they're jumping and things are blowing up and they're swinging in an airplane. I mean, it's a great show. It's a great show. It's like a half-hour show, but we were waiting there for such a long time because we wanted to get good seats. So we did have the express pass. And so we got in line early so we get better seats. So they let us in and we get right in the front row. The
front row center.
Middle front row. And some of the seats are green and the rest are just like bench seating. So the green means you're going to get wet. And it was a nice day and it was the end of the trip. Our hotel was nice. So I was like, you know what? Let's just sit here and enjoy the show. Let's just.
So there was like this 10-year-old sitting beside me. I don't know where his parents were. And he was wearing a Super Mario brother, like mushroom hat.
Toad's hat.
He goes, get ready. You're about to be soaked. I go, what do you mean? He goes, oh, you're going to be soaked. So I looked at Jeff. I go, oh my gosh, let's move. And it was too late. There was nowhere else to move. And they must have known him because right before we even started, they sprayed him and he knew.
Yeah.
And so he had told me he had been there and he loves the show. I don't know. He's like the cutest little 10-year-old. So anyways, Lawson got to stand up and do a part and spray one of the guys.
They get the crowd like hyped up before the actual show starts.
And then Jeff.
Well, go tell. So they're trying to get everybody hyped up and they're throwing water on people and, you know, making little jokes. So they all have like these giant water guns and they come up to Lawson and they're like, hey, you spray the bad guy. Obviously there's bad guys and good guys and you're cheering for the good guys. So they go and get Lawson because we're right in the front row middle and they're like, spray this bad guy. And then he's like, no. And Lawson squirts him right in the face. We actually got a video. We'll show it right now. And Lawson got him good right in the face. And I filmed the whole thing. So then they're like, oh, we got to get revenge. So someone sprays the guy that was talking and he goes, Dad, you got to get revenge for your son. And I was like, oh, you want me to squirt him? So I stand up and I go to squirt the guy in the face, except there was no water in the gun. They tricked me. And the guy grabs the gun and then the 2 bad guys soaked me.
And my friend got a video of it.
Yeah.
They were across the way and it's so funny hearing her laugh.
And I thought I was going to get a little bit wet. I mean, I was completely
drenched.
soaked. Yeah.
But thank God in my book bag, I packed sweatshirts. So the sun was going down and it was cold and the boys were shivering. So I took off their shirts, gave them their sweatshirts. But it was there was one video I wish I would have got with the plane. I won't say it just in case anybody goes to Universal so you can be surprised. And I wish I would have got that shot because I mean, it was like right in center. But yeah, that was a great day. We ended up back at the pool again. Then the next day is our anniversary, 10-year anniversary.
Yes.
And what was it? Oh yeah. So Jeff gets us a car and I had tried calling to get a reservation. They weren't answering. I couldn't make a reservation online, which should have been a hint right there.
Mind you, the Oscars just happened the day before on Sunday.
But I didn't think that the Oscars were going to affect anything because they were over. I didn't know celebrities still hang out at hotels when it's over. Go back to your mansion. Stop staying at the hotels. I'm still mad about this. So we take a car to the Beverly Hills Hotel because that is where, after Jeff and I got married at the courthouse, that is where we ate with our friends. And we wanted to relive that again with our boys at the hotel.
Right.
So we get there and the girl tells us no, that we can't eat there. And we could go downstairs in this basement to a cafe, I guess. And she said there were events going on. And if we were not staying at the hotel, that we could not eat. So I said, can we still go to the garden in the back and take photos? Because I have a photo of me holding my belly in the garden when I was pregnant with Lawson. And I don't know why. Well, now I know why. But I was like very emotional. I think because around that time, like it was just a whirlwind with, I found out I was pregnant with Lawson. I was planning a wedding, was not expecting to be pregnant. And then it was like a rush wedding so I could have health insurance. And because I went 10 years without health insurance and I needed it because I was 12 weeks pregnant. And I just felt like very emotional because I was bringing Lawson back there and now he's going to turn 10 this year. And it's just how fast time goes. And I don't know, I just wanted the boys to be there with us. So when she told us no, I don't know why, I felt like crying and I got like kind of emotional and I got mad in a way. And I know I'm never going back to that hotel. Forget it.
And I'm like, I tried.
Jeff goes, what about our 10-year anniversary? And she's like, no, sorry.
Yeah, because celebrities were staying there, you know?
But I didn't know that. I mean, again, go back to your mansions. The Oscars or whatever are over. So we go back to the garden and there was this nice couple that she was directing her husband how to take the photos and he was getting annoyed with her. But then I don't know, some guy kind of checked us like, where are you going? Because I was walking towards the bungalows and I guess that's where the celebrities are staying. I didn't know that. And I did see David Beckham's son, the one that's having a feud with his family. He's a cute kid. He's little. He's like not as big as I thought he was going to be. But I mean, he's like David Beckham. That's random, but whatever. But yeah, so we were there and I was like, okay, now where are we going to go? So I told Jeff the next place that we have memories with, I spent my first Mother's Day there and our friends used to always meet up, is Gladstones. It's considered Santa Monica. I believe it's down on the PCH. If you ever go down there, it's right on the beach. They have really good like margaritas. It's mainly seafood, but you can get a burger if you don't like seafood. You can get chicken. But we were there. I think we stayed there for like 4 or 5 hours. We were there. And then my friend Matt came and met us and the boys stayed on the beach all day. That is all they did was play. They love the beach so much. And I felt bad because I wasn't expecting us to go down to the beach. I didn't pack sunscreen. I didn't pack swim trunks or anything. But the good thing is they didn't get sunburn at all, surprisingly. And they just kept their shirts on. Their shorts were wet. But the place we went to it's more our style, not Beverly Hills. I don't like that uppity stuff. I never have. Gladstones is just, the boys had their shoes off. We're covered in sand. You can walk in and out of the restaurant with no shoes. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's more our
it.
speed. Beverly Hills Hotel is not our speed.
No, I don't like that. I don't know. I just don't like that foo-foo stuff. I never have.
Well, we got our picture. That was all we needed. So we got our picture there.
And Jeff and I both wore white.
The last time we were there was a couple years ago, right? When was the last time we were there?
With Scotty.
Yeah, we went there for a beer and got ordered French fries, and they were $35 for French fries. So saved me a couple $100 not eating there. And I had a way better time at Gladstones.
We did. And all we did, we just like watched the boys play in the water. Not all the way in the water. They weren't deep for the people going to yell at us. Why were y'all sitting there?
They're playing on the beach. They're kids. What are you making excuses for?
Yeah, it was cool. And then just watching the surfers and everything. We're just beach people. It made me want to move to the beach. I told Jeff, I was like, you want to move? And Lawson heard me and got all upset. And he was like, no, I'm not leaving my friends. That's just like where I'm the happiest is the beach.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about the energy. It's the same with the mountains.
It's a slower pace.
Well, but for me, it's like something that's bigger than you. You know what I mean? Like that puts life in perspective. Like there's more in this life than the Beverly Hills Hotel and eating there and being a celebrity. It's like when you look at the ocean, it's full of wonder and magic and it's so vast that you can't really wrap your head around it. That's what life, you know what I mean? Like, wow, that's amazing. Something that's bigger than me. I get that feeling a little bit when I look at the mountains and drive around, like this has been here for forever. Like we're here for a blink of an eye. So I don't care about a celebrity or eating at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I just I don't know, something about the ocean gives me energy.
Right. And so we sat there for a while. Again, my friend Matt came. We got to meet his son. And it was nice just catching up. Matt was my best friend in LA, he would always pick me up at 2:00. He'd get off. He works at TMZ, and he would get off of work and then come pick me up, and him and I would go hiking. We'd always go eat or get yogurt. If you hear our yogurt stories that we've talked about, Matt was always involved with the yogurt. And it was just nice just catching up, seeing friends. And then we went back to, it was great. It was very chill. And then we went back to the hotel and met up with our friends and went back to the hot tub and swam. And it was just a nice day. And then the next day we left.
There was one throw up incident, which I don't know why.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Every time Lawson, every time we're like in a hotel, he throws up. What is going on?
I don't know. And I was worried. I was like, oh no, please tell me we didn't get here. And we came all the way here.
But they did eat a lot of candy and running
Takis.
Around. And those Takis. Don't get your kids Takis. By the way, Duke won 71-65.
Shut up.
Just an update. So they snuck it out.
That's
I just
great.
checked an update. But all in all, it was a fantastic trip. We came back on Tuesday, St. Patty's Day. And it was such a good time. I wish we could have stayed a little longer, but I think that was a perfect amount.
Those little trips like that, sometimes you just need that refresh.
Little reset.
Yeah. And it's so nice just to get away for a little bit. It's the flight's so easy for us from Colorado to California. And it's just like bonding with your family and your friends. And again, going back to people you can vacation with. And it was nice too. We all had our own hotel rooms. We hung out some days, other days that family, they did their own thing. We did our own thing. And then we'd come back and like have drinks at night. And it's easy.
Yeah, I did have like a little nostalgia being back there, like especially being in Studio City and then all the things with Big Brother at the hotel. Because you stay there before you go on the show. And then at the finale, they put you there if you need a flight home the next day. And then Jordan was doing press the time she won. So we ended up staying there. But then I ended up working there in Burbank, for a while. Then when we were in Hollywood, I worked at Television City. Then when we were in Beverly Hills, I used to wash windows at some of those really expensive.
Oh, that's what Jeff was saying when we were at that fancy market. Jeff goes, I used to wash windows down here.
Yeah. So like there's a couple stores that's what I did when I first moved to LA. Like I was a waiter and washed windows. So it brings back all these other memories and just having memories with my friends, but very nostalgic in that way. And then just getting that Hollywood vibe because I still remember having that dream like very vividly, But, I've done a lot of things. So it makes me feel like some sort of accomplishment, But to me, it's not the same place, not. When I was having those dreams. So it's great to go back and visit and get nostalgic and things like that. But like Biggie Smalls said, Cali, great place to visit. That's about it. I'm happy here.
It's nice to visit and then get out. I would never want to move back there with the kids, but I would, if I'm moving again, I'm going the East Coast.
Yeah.
I'm going to like a little beach town on the East Coast. I'm not going West Coast. But
what if I got a job and they paid me $1 million a year?
Still no.
What?
I wouldn't, I promise you.
You'd like Newport Beach. You don't have to be in Hollywood. You like the beach towns up and down the coast.
I wouldn't. I would stay here.
Well, I'm more closer than going back and washing windows than I'm into $1 million job. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, I know. It's sad. And talking to friends who are in the industry and how it's just going away. We saw Access Hollywood got canceled.
Yeah. Oh man. And The Bachelor just got canceled.
Right before we started, we hit record. I just saw, now we do not watch Mormon Wives. I do not know anything about this girl that they're showing, Taylor. I think that's Frankie Taylor. I don't know anything about her.
Well, we'll wrap this up because I don't know all the details. It just happened.
I just watched the video.
But I was telling Jordan before we got on, I was like, there's no way this new Bachelorette is, the show's in the can. It's already filmed. Production is spent. Promotions are spent. Marketing money spent. They just had her at the Oscars, which is insane. I know it's ABC, but like they paraded her all over television to promote the new season. And now this video came out and they're going to bag that. They're going to take a bath.
You know who
That's
I want
crazy.
To call right now and be like, I need you to come over here right now and sit on this podcast with Jeff and I so we can discuss this because she might know. Trista.
Well, she's probably already doing her own podcast right now.
No, but I mean, she might know like what would be the next thing. Like,
Well, I mean,
what would you do? What do they do? So
they got to take a bath. Like that's
all
a
that
big
money.
Yep. I mean,
how much money do you think they spend on production for that? Do they still travel? There's no way.
Yeah.
They're cutting budgets. So how are they not cutting that?
Yeah, they travel. I mean, just the money that they spend in marketing alone. Then all the production people.
Because I saw all the marketing when we were on Sunset. Everybody's showing like The Bachelor, like on the billboard.
I thought they were kind of drumming it up to get people to watch. And I'm like, this is where we're at now in entertainment. Like you're drumming up this story and I haven't seen a video yet. We just watched a video. If you haven't seen it, this is going to be Monday when this comes out. You've already seen the video. Well, I saw
somebody say she gained like an extra 80,000 followers from this. But I was like, oh, maybe like what you're saying, that's like getting people to watch. But that video didn't look pretty good to me.
Well, again, I don't want to, like, we just watched it very briefly, but the kid being in the room with throwing the chairs and stuff, I think that was the line that you crossed. I know choking your husband isn't great either, but I think the line was crossed when you're throwing chairs and your kids right there. But I don't know. It seemed there was not good thoughts or feedback coming out. A lot of people were like, this girl does have some issues.
Do you think they were trying to get a different audience to bring in, maybe because it's on Hulu, to get the Mormon viewer watcher people to come over to ABC?
I thought it was a little bit of a publicity stunt. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, there's no way it's this bad. They would have went back and dug up and did their research. Apparently it is. So as of now, this is Thursday again, that's canceled. I'd like to see the financials. I'd like to see the spreadsheet because they're cutting people's budgets, slashing like Crazy Harry's mattress sales. I mean, everybody's out of a job.
I know.
From host to production to camera people. I mean, we've lost some great people, just at where I work right now.
Yeah.
And it's just, so now ABC's got to take a bath with that. That's not going to be great.
No.
Yeah.
Or they're just going to find maybe like some other person that was on the...
but they got to reinvest. The money's gone. If they don't air that season, it's gone. So I'm wondering how they're going to recoup that money. Are they going to put it on Hulu and just say, buyer beware, or we don't support the actions of this? Like, are they still going to put it out to they got to do something? Or
is somebody higher up probably in trouble? And like, why didn't you look into the background of this? Who picked this person?
Maybe instead of firing all the people that work hard, why don't you fire the casting people? That was a jab of my own. We'll end it there because we're going a little long.
Okay. Do your quote.
Okay, Miss Thang. Consult not your fears, but your hopes and dreams. Think not about your frustrations, but about your unfulfilled potential. Concern yourself not with what you've tried and failed in, but what is still possible for you to do. Hey, I kind of wraps up my story of
Do y'all like my
Hollywood.
pink shirt? I just got this. It's very Eastery and very springy.
Do you guys like my Man Spot product? This is to clean your privates.
Jeff shared that on the live.
Check out our Amazon Lives on every Sunday.
Every Sunday, y'all, Amazon Live. We just share stuff that we have around the house.
I don't just have the Man Spot laying here before the podcast to keep it clean. That's weird.
You're so weird.
Well, it was weird that it was right here and I just saw it. I'm like, what's this doing here?
Didn't you need that for trimming upstairs?
Downstairs.
I meant upstairs, like our upstairs. I'm not talking about your body.
Oh, well, you can check out the downstairs once we wrap this up. All right. That's it for this time. We'll see you guys next time. Check out our Amazon Lives every Sunday and look at our Instagram to see if we change it. But moving forward, we're going to do those. And if not, we'll see you every Monday and Wednesday.
Bye.
Ooh. If you're still here, we do have some exciting news. Stay tuned. Bye.